Alright, Algebra 2 Trig Honor students, so this is Mr. Chen again. So just want to go over some of the sample questions for the unit test for trigonometry. And things that we were talking about before, so the coterminal angles, the way to find the reference angles, the way to find out the ratios of sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, secant, cosecant, all the trigonometric ratios. So we'll get to that, and you'll see some of the way that I solve for the problem here today. Okay, so let's start with all the even. Okay, so cotangent of theta. So this one is given that as theta is negative 5 pi over 2. So anytime they see like a weird angle or negative radian, negative degree, so you always want to find out the smallest positive coterminal angle. So in order to get that, so it's negative 5 pi over 2. So we want to add 2 pi to get the positive coterminal angle. So negative 5 pi over 2 plus 4 pi over 2. Well, somehow this one is still considered negative, so it's negative pi over 2. So that means you want to add 2 pi one more time. And this one will give you negative pi over 2 plus 4 pi over 2, which is 3 pi over 2. So if that's going by clockwise, so that means it's going this directions, okay? But the things that, if that's a positive coterminal, so that means we're going by counterclockwise. So 3 pi over 2 right here. And then we do know that at this position is always considered 0, comma, negative 1. And then the ratios of cotangent of angle is always considered x over y. So if that's x over y, so then that would be considered 0 over negative 1. So for this one, it's considered 0. And now what about for cosine of theta? So 21 pi over 4. Again, so it's a big radian, big angle. So you want to find out the smallest positive coterminal. So this one I would like to subtract 2 pi. So we get 21 pi over 4 minus 8 pi over 4. And then you'll get 13 pi over 4. But somehow this one is still considered too big. So let's subtract 2 pi once again. So subtract 8 pi over 4. So we'll get 5 pi over 4. So 5 pi over 4, so that means it's in quadrant 4 right here. No, quadrant 3, excuse me. So at this position, 5 pi over 4, according to the unit circle, so this one is considered negative root 2 over 2, negative root 2 over 2. And cosine of that angle, it's always considered adjacent over hypotenuse, or it's considered x over r. So for cosine of that angle, so it's negative root 2 over 2 divided by 1, and which is the same as negative root 2 over 2. So for the next type of problem, convert each degree measure into radian and each radian measure into degree. So that one is pretty straightforward. Radian to degree, so that means you multiply by 180 over pi. So this one, what we can do, cross cancel. So 7 times 30, so 210 degrees. Make sure that you put in the unit. Okay, so again, radian to degree, so simply multiply by 180 over pi. And what about from degree to radian? Then you multiply by pi over 180. So the 0 got canceled. So 66, 18, so divided by 6 top and the bottom. So 11, 3, so it's 11 pi over 3 radian. And then for 10 and 12, find the reference angle. So this one is in quadrant 4, so negative 390. Again, any angle that's outside the unit circle, so you want to find out the smallest positive coterminal angle first. So negative 390 plus 720. Subtract, so this one, so you'll get 330. So 330, reference angle for this one, so theta prime, so equals 360 minus 330. Then that'll be 30 degrees. And number 12, so 515, so it's over here. So find out the smallest positive coterminal. So 515 minus 360. So this one you'll get, okay, let's see, making sure that this one is right. 155 degree. Okay, so the reference angles, it's in quadrant 2. So that means theta prime, it's 180 minus 155. Then is what, 25 degrees. And the next type of problem, so you want to draw an angle with the given measure in standard position. 3 pi over 4, so positive radian, so that means we're going by counterclockwise. So 3 pi over 4, so that means it's in quadrant 2. So it's like 135 degrees, so it's all the way over here. And then put in the terminal side. And you might be making the initial side right here on the x-axis, the positive x-axis. So find a positive and a negative coterminal angle for each given angle. So positive coterminal, radian, so let's put in the radian form. So this one we just simply add 2 pi. So negative 4 pi over 9 plus 18 pi over 9. So combine the numerator, so negative 4 pi plus 18 pi, we'll get 14 pi over 9. To get a negative radian, negative coterminal, so this one just subtract 2 pi, subtract 18 pi over 9. So we get negative 22 pi over 9. And then the next sets, convert that degree, minute, second into decimal places, into decimal degree. So this one basically can just do that on a calculator, but normally it's better to do it with a fraction. So negative 87 degrees, just leave it like that, and then 40. In order to convert that from minute to degree, so we want to divide it by 60, because 1 degree is 16 minutes, and 1 degree equals 3,600 seconds, and then plus 48. Well, this one is all addition, so the negative sign, we probably want to put it outside the parentheses. 3,600. And then the rest of that, either you want to reduce, divide it, but before you divide it, it's better for you to reduce them first. So the 0 got cancelled, so 4 over 6, which is what, 2/3. And then this one also, you want to reduce. Or you can simply put it into the calculator, because this one you can round it. And the next one, so solve each triangle, so round the answer to the nearest tenth. Okay, so for number 20, so we do know that's a special right triangle. You can do it either way. So using the ratios of the special right triangle, we do have 45, 45, 90 degree. So that means the ratio is like 1, 1, and root 2. So in order to get the other two sides, so the way to figure it out, so it's 15. So that equals root 2x. And then solve for x divided by root 2. So we got 15 root 2 over 2. But obviously this one you can put it into the calculator. Another way you can do it simply using that cosine, tangent, or sine. So in order to get the other two side length, so this one it's hypotenuse, adjacent, we don't know what that is, so cosine of x. So that equals, well, cosine of 45 degree, excuse me. Because 45 degree, that's the base angle. So it's x over 15. And cosine of 45 is root 2 over 2. So that equals x over 15. And then once you cross multiply, then you just solve for x. So similar to this one here. So 15 root 2, so that equals 2x. And then divided by 2. So x is 15 root 2 over 2. So you can do it either way. And then the last two problem is about the law of sine and cosine. So anytime that we deal with the non-right triangle, so we're using that the law of sine or cosine to solve. So in order to apply the law of sine, and make sure that the condition got to be satisfied with the condition like psi, angle, psi angle, or angle angle psi. In order to apply that the law of cosine, so make sure that the condition got to be satisfying with the scenario such as what, psi psi psi, or psi angle psi. So let's just draw the diagram. So we do have a triangle QRP. Okay, so Q, which is what? Angle Q is 88 degree. The figure is not drawn to scale, okay? So P is 29 kilometer. And then the measure of angle, well, the other one that's given, angle, it's not the angle, the segment R, 25 kilometer. So the one that's given here, it's considered psi angle psi. If that's psi angle psi, that means we're using the law of cosine to figure out one of the angle or the side length. So let's say this one, well, angle Q, so this one would be segment Q. Alright, so the way that you want to set it up, so then that'll be considered Q square. So that equals R square plus 29 square minus 2 times 25 times 29 times cosine of 88 degrees. And then the rest of this, just put it into the calculator, solve for Q. And once you solve for Q, you can use the law of sine to figure out the rest of the angle. Okay? And then the third angle, you can use the triangle sum theorem. Okay, so that's the way to get started. And what about for number 22? So quite similar. So this one is given that as what? Psi, psi, psi. So if that's psi, 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 we're using the law of cosine first. So we need to get the angle. Okay, so again, just make the right triangle. Well, not the right triangle, just like a regular triangle. Okay. So R is 19 mile, and then Q, which is 16 mile, and then P is 7 mile. So using that, the law of cosine, so let's say this one is, well, let's find out this angle first. Angle P. So that means we do have 7 square equals 16 square plus 19 square minus 2 times 16 times 19 times cosine of measure of angle P. And then once you solve for cosine of P, so make sure that this one, you need to take this one all over to the left hand side. So 7 square minus the quantity of 16 square plus 19 square divided by negative 2 times 16 times 19, so you get cosine of P. And then whatever the ratio that you have for this number here, so you want to take the inverse of cosine of that number, so you get angle P. And once you get angle P, you can use the law of sine to figure out the rest of the angle. And then the third angle, you can use the triangle sum theorem. Okay, so that's it. So thank you for watching it. So make sure that you guys put in any comments or any kind of questions that you have on this video. So I'll see you guys next time.